Long has it been since I've really felt that fervent desire for Hytale, that same fire the community once shared during all the early reveals and updates. Over time, that feeling faded, buried under delays, silence, and the uncertainty surrounding the game's future. But recently, with the growing possibility that Hytale could still become ours within a year, the fire has started to burn again. What do I mean? Well, on June 23, 2025, Hytale was officially announced as cancelled. The project had grown and evolved so much that development eventually looped in circles, and the team had to shut it down. There isn't one person or group to blame, and I don't think anyone working on the game ever expected it to end that way. They made real progress, but time ended up being the biggest issue. Yet, even with the cancellation, that wasn't the end of the story. As I write this, there are people actively working to revive Hytale, trying to bring it back under new ownership and give it another chance. Simon of Hypixel. On June 26, 2025, Owl posted what I think is one of the most influential questions that helped jumpstart the effort to reclaim Hytale. I don't know exactly how Simon felt when he first saw it, but almost a month and a half later, he said, "In hindsight, good post." His initial response, "Hard for me to know if it's worth looking into. The chapter is truly closed," made it seem like the cancellation was final, like there was absolutely no chance Hytale would see the light of day. But that wasn't the case. The community bullied Simon into reconsidering, and thankfully they did. Then, on June 28th, he posted, "Yes, I made the decision. I will give my best to save Hytale. Even if it's 1% chance, it's the least I can do to the same community that gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. I will reach out." And he did. We don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes, like the NDAs, the meetings, the business discussions, but the process began. And I hope it's close to being completed by the time I'm making this video. It's been months since that initial tweet, so where are we now? It's November. So the big question is, how much progress has actually been made towards Hytale's release, and how close is the acquisition to being finalized? There's still no definitive public answer, but thanks to the community, especially Allegro, we've seen signs that real work has been happening behind the scenes long before Simon basically confirmed how close things are earlier this week. Simon explained that his team has made their own launcher already before even getting the game, just to speed things up. He also said they have the launcher, website authentication, account systems, payment systems, name reservation, and more, all ready or almost ready to launch. We just need the game. This is genuinely good news. It shows that the team is already positioned to move forward the moment the acquisition is complete. Once they legally own the Hytale IP, they can immediately focus on preparing the game for launch. That said, I do have some questions. Simon has clearly stated that they do not currently have the game, meaning no legal ownership of the IP yet. So it naturally raises a few things I'm curious about. How do they know the game is in a shippable state without actually having the game? Do they have some form of access? Maybe the ability to view or test it without modifying anything? Simon mentioned they didn't have anyone available to even start or compile the game, so how exactly is he aware of the game's current condition? Now, it could be simple. Maybe Riot allowed him to open the project, compile it, and run it strictly for evaluation purposes without touching the code since he legally doesn't own the IP yet. And of course, all of that would fall under NDA territory, so it would explain Simon not being able to discuss that. So what's next? Patience. All we can do right now is wait for the legal processes and the acquisition to complete. Once that has finished, Simon will start posting more, maybe even opening the door to letting other developers talk about their previous work as well. He said he'll release Hytale as soon as legally possible. That's interesting wording. Given that the team has a launcher ready, the game must be in a state that they know is able to be released, if Simon is saying that. It is also important to know that the state of the game we'll be receiving is not a completed version. Simon has made it abundantly clear that he wants to get the game in our hands in an early access state just so it's out there. Make it exist first, then make it good later. And in conclusion, with all of this in mind, Simon and his new team working tirelessly to regain the Hytale IP, updates on the acquisition, and increased transparency from Simon himself without breaking any NDAs, it all points to one thing. Hytale is coming. The timeline is back, and soon, my friends, we will finally get to experience the game we've been waiting years for. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below your thoughts on everything. Here's some questions for you. How do you feel about Hytale's eventual release? What's the first thing you want to do once the game is out? Which features and parts of the world are you most excited to see and explore? And I look forward to reading all of your comments. And until next time, adios.